It's an absolute honor to be here. It's been more of a passion for me, investing, and it's been passion to identify entrepreneurs and companies very early on and work closely with them and see them grow, essentially. A lot of the time, small entrepreneurs are surrounded by saying that these are the issues which are there. So I just said these are the current issues which are there, and they are not new. This slide is always filled with some or the other issues which are global, Indian, local, political, whatever may be the nature. Now, when we talk about wealth creation, we often see that, how much percentage return has happened. So we are always being taught that 10%, 20% compounding is very good over a longer period of time. So I just wanted to run through this list. Now these are companies which at one point of time were only 1,000 crores and what they have become today over the last 15 years. This is even more interesting. So the second list is these are companies which have grown to this level in the last 15 years, and when they started, their market cap was less than 50 crores. This is not only in India. Now, this is the kind of wealth creation which has happened globally in the last 15 years. So this is my learning number one, that, we always overestimate what we can do in the short term, and we always end up underestimating what the possibilities in the long run are. So when we talk about 15 years, it looks such a big period. Oh, it took 15 years for this company to go there. But 15 years just passes like that, So if you have your horizon properly shaped up, and if you want to really address an opportunity, it takes a while for it to mature out. So don't overestimate yourself in the short term, and don't underestimate the opportunity in the long run. Slide which I just wanted to show, this is where India is, and this is where China, Korea, and USA were, in which year. So for instance, in clothing and footwear, where today India is, China was equal to, India is at, let's say, $60 billion. China is 239 billion. Korea is 682. USA is 924. And this is where these countries were, about the size of where India is today. So these countries were in 2004, that was the size of that industry. In these various sectors, which has already happened in countries like Korea, China, or USA. And that is what is happening. We are basically just 10, 15 years behind. So when you are looking at opportunities in your own businesses or in sectors which you are, this is a very good leading indicator as to what the possibilities in these sectors are over the next 10, 15, 20 years. This is a very, very important slide that, initially technology absorption used to take a lot of time. Like telephone, which was invented in 1900, took some 30, 40 years for it to become popular. These days, technology only takes, if you see the last point, which is the tablet, it has only taken like 6-9 months to get popularized. So anyone who is in a business today has to understand that generation is not 100 years or 80 years now. Generations have become shorter to maybe 5 or 10 years. So unless and until you are really agile as to what is happening in the outside world, you will get disrupted, or you will end up missing the opportunity because of the pace at which technology is changing. Now, this is my experience as to what makes successful companies. This is what we learned over the last 20 years by paying a lot of price for making wrong investments, by making bet on wrong entrepreneurs. And this is the model which we developed. The first part of any success is your positioning, is what kind of business you are in, what is the scale of that opportunity which is there, and what is your business model. Second is, the management and the management team. Here I would say I give highest rating to the management who know how to execute well. Third is, allocation of capital. Now this is where I said that we praise a very hefty price This is very important that, capital and resources, both how they are allocated and how much they are sweated. So let's say if you are worth 100 rupees and if you see too much opportunity and you end up borrowing 500 rupees without naming, a lot of the conglomerate in India committed these mistakes in the last 10 years because they had X amount of net worth and they ended up borrowing abnormal amount of money. So the people who are small, they need to, specifically in the SME sector, they need to take this note that, you have to always be very prudent about your financial discipline as well as about your resources. So, this again, and then it is the financial performance. So when we saw those slides which I showed you about wealth creators, there were two distinct things about them. One, they did not end up raising a lot of capital from the market. Second, they were very conservative when it came to leveraging. And the third and the most important thing, they recognized this India opportunity and they said that we want to grow 20-25% every year. So they did not say that we want to grow 100% every year, because when you want to grow 100% in traditional businesses, you are bound to commit mistakes. This is my last point, that a lot of these companies which have grown at 15, 20, 25% have ended up creating hundreds of times of wealth. So when you look at, let's say, what you can do at an 8% compounding and what you can do at a 15% compounding of 1 lakh, it is difference of 7 times in a 30-year time frame. There is humongous opportunity which is awaiting. This is never going to be in a straight line. There are always going to be, bouts of uncertainty, bouts of challenges, and there are times when these companies which I showed you had also gone down 70-80% from their peak prices. So I think we are awaiting all of you at the main exchanges, at the SME exchanges, to discover some of you so that I can make the similar presentation about some of you 10-15 years down the line. Thank you so much.